8 races, 7 winners in the men's field. Super exciting, and new young guys coming up. And then your only double winner, probably not going to see him at Fort William or a couple of races, if not the whole season. That remains to be seen. So that's the one sort of sad start to the year. Otherwise, on the other women's side, we have the opposite. We've got injured or unhealthy or recovering races all back up to speed. They're going to be probably maybe even the more exciting class to watch.
Yeah, I was thinking that when we signed off last year, I actually re-listened to that one with Sven, and Alan did the one before. There was a little bit of that getting ahead of ourselves, as you will, is Jackson Goldstone, sort of the only one to win 2 races. He was in the title hunt if it wasn't for 2 flat tires. Yes, everyone had some bad luck and there was weather. So it was an interesting sort of unfair look at the overall, and the cream rises to the top. But man, I was really sort of worried for some of the riders if Jackson maintains that pace with withholding pressure. That's not to be. That's really, really not to be, as you said, Sven. So
two, two
that's
flat
just
tires and 2 flat tires and a surgery, right? And Shame, it's always been said, and I've said it a lot, and a lot of these new riders, let's say like Jackson, are unstoppable until their first big injury. We saw that with Jackson. We've seen that with Armory. We've seen that with Deprella. We've seen that now with the new, everybody's watching junior from the US, Asa, on the frameworks with Nico. He's so that, they ride on this extra air of confidence where they just can do anything and they feel they can do anything. They can get away with anything. They're invincible. At some point, it does catch up with them or bites them in the ass, and that's what's interesting, remains to be seen, because then it becomes not just a physical recovery, it becomes a mental one. And how do you push when you get back on the bike? So those young, fast kids have all unfortunately had their big one, just due to the nature of the sport. At some point, it happens to everyone.
Yeah, it's tough. I
and
think it's one of
Alan.
those
Yeah,
situations. You don't know what you don't know. So if you've not had an injury and you've not had that pain, and you've not had to question yourself, you've just ridden on your wits, then things come really easily. And when you step up to the senior class, we've all seen that when you're going flat out as a junior, there's not really a care in the world. The expectation's not there. The juniors race at a much earlier time in the day, so there's less fans up there. There's less sort of crescendo to the day. And then all of a sudden you're put into that senior environment and things change. So it's sad to see these situations, especially, as we're talking about Jackson, but he'll heal up and he'll do it right. And you have to do these things right and do them properly once, with ACLs. And if it's any consolation, I think Ricky Carmichael had to take a season off, and then with an ACL, and I don't think he lost a race in 2 years after that. So, you do these things properly and he'll be set, I'm sure.
I would say that someone, that young and riding on that much sort of talent and skill, I think I'm not actually too worried about him bouncing back. The younger you are when you get these injuries, I think the better for Jackson. The older you get and the more traumatic it is mentally and physically, someone like Greg having to come back from that neck injury, that's easier when you're younger. Amory, that trauma, of getting hurt again and missing seasons, that's probably weighing on you a little bit in the back of your mind. But I've got full confidence Jackson will probably be back stronger. He'll be chomping at the bit to get back. So yeah, that is a bummer, because it would have been exciting just seeing him in the season coming off a high like that, and he looked like he was riding like that at Hardline.